Hello, my name is Crystal Orlano, and we are the Pretty Goons. Introduce yourself, ladies.
I'm Rebecca.
And I'm Tiffany.
And today's topic is, should we allow a man to criticize or be able to judge us based upon what we wear? I personally think that it doesn't matter what I'm wearing, I have the right to be liberated. What do y'all ladies think?
Well, to be honest with you, I feel like whether it's a man or a woman, you do have the right to be judged by what you wear. What you put out there is what you're going to get back. Like, for instance, with me, I'm not going to wear certain things. Why? Because I have a certain, for myself, I have a certain level of respect for how I carry myself, and I know how you carry yourself is how people are going to view you. So for me, I always say it's a brand that I'm building for myself, because everyone has their own brand. What does your brand say about you? You know what I'm saying? So, like, for me, it's like I want a certain type of audience, a certain type of attention. I want a certain type of person to approach me and to be in my life. So what I put out there, I feel like is exactly what I'm going to get back. That's just my personal view. So I'm not going to wear like a real short skirt or, my tatas hanging out. I'm not going to go up there real seductive. Like, I'm very cautious of what I wear, the type of pictures I take, everything. I'm very mindful of those types of things. So.
And in fact, I agree with you. You definitely have to think about how you build a brand. Personally, I'm building a brand where I want to, I'm writing books, and I have a specific genre of books that I write. I call it free verse. So I want to be free to speak my mind. And I do agree everybody has the right to want to be suggested a certain way, but it's just my right. If I want to go do a video shoot or do something where maybe my breasts might be hanging out just a little bit, or maybe I might have some booty shorts on, and yeah, that's my choice as somebody who wants to wear it, just like anybody else has the choice not to wear it. But you are still going to respect me because I'm not only do I have a brain and I'm an intellect, but you can admire me from afar and you can decide, well, first impressions are everything, but sit down and have a conversation with me and you'll see that I have a mind past what I decide to do or what I decide to wear, because I am a free spirit. And I feel like that should definitely be something that should be taken in consideration, whether you're a man, woman, looking at somebody in a magazine. What do you think?
I can see both sides. And the reason I can see both sides is because when I was around your age, I had the same ideas. And I literally dressed like that. I dressed like that on purpose because I always was raised real strict. I wasn't allowed to show any legs. And when I got to be a certain age, I knew I had a body, so I showed my body. Right. But my theory was, don't judge me by what I wear. If you don't know my mindset, if you don't know me as a person, do not judge me by what I wear, because what you're looking at and the picture I'm painting is not what you're going to get. And men would approach me and tell me that. After they got to know me, they'd be like, you need to stop dressing like you do because you're painting a picture that you're not. And it's deceiving. Mm-hmm. I said, but that in itself was the reason I did it, because people need to stop judging books by their cover. Exactly. They need to learn the person before they make a decision on who the person is. Now, at my age now, I regret that I did that, because the mindset and the picture that I painted at that age causes people to still look at me as that same person.
Yeah.
And I'm not that same person.
Yeah.
So it brings a lot of controversy. And I even tell younger people, be cautious of how you display yourself.
Yeah.
Because when you get older, they're not going to forget who you were when you were young. And that's going to hurt you when you're in a different phase. When I had different phases of jobs, nursing, teaching school, being a counselor, there were people who would come in and they would remember me.
Yeah.
And they were like, wow, what happened to you? You used to be so-and-so. And they had an opinion of me that kind of was controversial to where we couldn't do business.
To who you really were, yeah.
Well, personally, I personally want people to remember me, and I want them to remember this phase in my life and who I was and what I was going through, because I had to work to get to this phase of where I was. I had to deal with struggle. I had to deal with homelessness. I had to deal with everything to be who I was and build the brand that I want to build. And, you know, if that means being a little sexy and bringing it so the next generation can be a little sexy, or the mind frame of even rape culture. Just because I wear something does not give you the right to touch me or to think that it's okay to do anything. So, yeah, I want to go ahead and build that brand and kind of continue to move us forward and try to make change where we don't have these old habits that just because you were somebody right here that you can't look back and be like, yeah, I was sexy. Look what I looked like when I was 32, when I was 27. I don't regret this. I don't regret who I was. Before I even went to college, I had a certain type of vocabulary. Before that, should I be judged by how I was in a specific vocabulary as I've changed and evolved as a person?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I work in corporate America, and I'm going to be honest. Like, I work with students where we send them out on job interviews. Mm-hmm. And how you dress is your first impression when you go in before an employer for a job. They are going to look at what you have on, and they are going to judge you by what you have on. Right. So even with that, let's say you go in there and you're dressed to the T, but then you know you're walking around as far as like on your social media and you're half dressed, but then you're in front of the employer, you know, like with your nice dress on, you know, you got your suit jacket on, and then they look at your Facebook and then you're wondering why you didn't get the job. So it's like different things like that. You have to kind of be mindful. It's not just about, I feel like, oh, I just want people to accept what I'm wearing and not judge me. But the type of culture that we have, like the type of society that we're in, you're going to be judged. Like, you naturally judge someone. Just like if you see someone with a suit and tie on, and, you know, they got the Gucci loafers on, and they're walking, and they got their briefcase in their hand and a nice clean cut, and, you know, when they got the newest iPhone in their hand and they're walking with confidence, we're going to judge that person and assume, like, oh, they have money. Like, oh, they're probably a manager. Like, oh, they're probably a business owner. But in reality, that comes even to, like, how we front now in society. We driving around in the Jaguars, the 5-story houses, but let alone we're broke. There's no money in our bank account. But it's all perspective. That's the way I feel.
And that's the same mindset that also has the cop looking at the kid on the street with hoodie, putting them in this mind frame, assuming that they're this kind of kid, and then turn around and shooting them. Or turn around, we're calling the cops on that kid, and he's just walking home because of his hoodie, because we have this perception that this is how we need to be in society, whether it's corporate America or social media, and that's why change is always important. And yeah, I agree with you on some level that we do have to keep it certain mild, depending on what kind of job you want to go into. If you're trying to go into this sector, you have to definitely think mindful. But when we put ourselves and we continue to allow society to put us in this mind frame that we have to be this person all the time or be like this, that we're putting ourselves in the mind frame that it's okay that we think this way and we don't change. Because had we not have had change, then we could still easily be back in the back of the bus.
And see, I understand, you know, all of that in that aspect, but going back to, you know, the topic on hand as far as, like, is it all right for a man to judge a woman based on what she wears? I'm going to be honest with you, absolutely. That's just like if I had a little girl, I have a little boy, but if I had a little girl and I sent her out there to school and she got Daisy Dukes on, a little tank top, yes, a man is going to judge her and think that she's an older woman. They're going to think that she's easy, that she's loose. They're going to try my daughter.
Well, a little girl versus a woman is two different things.
It's hard to tell now.
To be honest, it's the same thing. I mean, honestly, especially like I'm from Jersey, and the women, I'm going to be honest, the little girls down here and down south are definitely built a lot differently than, you know, how we were built growing up, you know, back up north. We, you know, a lot of these girls down here have a lot of body, and they look like grown women. You know, I look and they got these little shorts on and everything, and it's like you can't really tell the difference between a young girl and a grown woman nowadays just because of what that little girl may have on, you know. And it's just like you say, as far as cops profiling, cops profile prostitutes and hookers too, so they're going to look at what you got on. If you look like you fitting inside, you on the wrong corner, and you got a certain outfit on, you out doing a certain type of night, they might, you know, be looking, you look suspicious, you might be out there selling yourself.
But does that give them the right to profile but if we allow them to continue to profile us, we're going to continue to be this certain way. And you know what, I don't regret any decisions that I made, whether I'm wearing a picture on a bathing suit, whether I decide to do this or I decide to do that. At the end of the day, you're not going to tell me what I can and can't wear. And I wish a man would come up to me and say certain things to me, which they have, and I'll look at them and I'll simply say that if you have a problem with it, you can step off, plain and simple. And I've worked corporate jobs, and I make sure that with my artists, as an artist and as an educator, I have two different profiles. I have this profile, Crystal Orlano, and I have my teaching profile, which is two different people in two different ways, two different lifestyles. Is this something that could catch up with me eventually? Maybe. Is it something I'm gonna have to choose from?
It's going to.
Maybe. But those are the choices that I make. And corporate America is definitely not for me, because I'm not going to sit there and be someone's slave behind a desk. I'm sorry. That's just my choice.
And I understand exactly what you're saying. That's why I said I can see exactly where you're coming from, because I was that one. I was that woman that had that same idea, had that same lifestyle. And I was a Baylor student. I went to college. I had very good jobs. But until I was 35 years old, I did not get the message. But I'm going to tell you, it's going to follow you. It is literally going to follow you. And it can even hinder you. Not only you, but it can also hinder your children. And if you have a son, you'll be surprised what he's going to have to go through, hearing the different stories of, or even him coming to you and say, Mama, I wish you would dress different because my friend's this and my friend's that. So sometimes the older you get and the more you experience in life, it's going to teach you something different than what you feel now. Not saying it's right, not saying it's wrong.
I come from...
It's just, that's life.
Yeah. Well, I come from a family where we were all free to express what we wanted to express. We dress how we want to dress. Even in my culture, even in like a more Latin-based culture, women dress a little bit more sexy. And they have good jobs. They hold good status. They hold a lot of stuff. I know plenty. And at the end of the day, we still got our jobs. We still got this. We still got that. And we got plenty of money. And we got plenty of things going on.
What you wear does not define you. You know, as far as like what you wear does not define you. But yes, you will get judged by what you wear. Like at the end of the day, I mean, naturally you're going to. Just
I
like
definitely
when you're going
think
out
naturally.
choosing a mate,
Yeah.
and you go look at somebody, you be like, oh, he's attractive. You're going to look at what he got on.
True,
like,
true.
I mean, honestly,
and I definitely think that I'm not saying like you're not gonna get judged, but should you judge is the main question that I'm getting at. And no, you shouldn't judge nobody.
We really shouldn't.
We really shouldn't just judge anybody. Yeah, I might talk about the man's toes and I might be man's toes, whatever, but that's not gonna be the whole ideal, the whole perception for me.
But see,
for
you
sure.
see how you said, oh, like if he got the man toes,
yeah, but it was more like a joke.
You was judging that man by what he had on, and you decided to say, oh, no, I ain't dealing with that. You got the man toes, like so. You have to understand, it's just like there's certain men that look for a certain type of women, especially like older men. A lot of these guys, they're looking for, wives, and they be like, is this somebody I could bring home to my mother? I could bring home to my family.
And I'm definitely not the
family
woman.
Naturally, they are sorry, but they are going to judge. They're going to go up on your social media page. They be looking.
Again, it depends on the family,
especially
because
the sisters,
it depends. Like I said, it depends on the family. If you got more of a family that's structured or more of a family that's strict like that, then yes. But if you got the family and you write the right person for you, and they are more free, like my family is more free in the aspect of it don't really matter. Like that doesn't matter. This is how we're raised. You know what I mean? So like I had the versatile experience to be more, in tune with my femininity. But then you go out in the real world and you see people, they judge you all the time. And I'm going to look at you and I'm be like, I'm not going to change for you. If you don't like who I am and you going to judge me, you can go the other way. Simple as that. And perception is everything, and that's the society that we live in. And I do agree that we should have a certain standing, but we should also try not to judge people based on what they wear.
Yeah,
I agree.
I
Yeah,
agree.
I agree.
I don't agree with, like, you know, telling somebody you shouldn't wear this, you shouldn't wear that. I just feel like based off of what you wear, you need to be open to whatever is going to come your way based off the way that you present yourself.
That's correct.
That's honestly like how I feel, because what I put out honestly is exactly what I get back.
Right.
There's men, like, they know that you're not going to disrespect me in a certain way because of the way I carry myself. I carry myself a certain way, and you be
But
like,
can you
I
still
can't
still
address
dress
that a certain way.
Can you still dress sexy and still dress a certain way and carry yourself
But
a certain way?
Sexy is different to everybody, because
Yeah.
I feel like I dress
Yes.
sexy, but I feel like I dress classy as well.
Yeah.
I could dress, throw it on and be real sexy and not have to be revealing at all. So sexy is different for, you know, for different people.
Okay.
So
if somebody wants to be a little revealing but still classy with it, or still however they consider sexy, does that give somebody the right to give a certain perception?
Me personally, I don't find half dresses classy, but I mean, I'm just saying. But
Yeah.
that's my opinion. You know what I'm saying? So, but I mean, honestly, that's just like how I was raised. But I mean, I don't judge anybody from what, you know, negative. Like, oh, you need to change this, you need to change that. But I mean, honestly, in my mind, when I do see somebody, I might not come out and say, oh, you don't need to be wearing this, you need to be wearing that. But I'm naturally going to judge that person. My first thoughts is when I see somebody walk in the room, you look at what they got on. And sometimes, you know, as women, we be like, girl, what you got on? Like, you know, in your mind, it naturally happens.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, just like a man coming here with the flip-flops, with the ashy back of the feet, you going to be like, bruh, what you doing? You know what I'm saying? So you naturally going to judge. It's something that's always going to happen. We all do it. You do it. Everybody does it.
You can,
you know.
and that's great and dandy, and we shouldn't judge, and we do. We all admit it. I judge. We judge.
Yes.
But if I want to post a nice, classy, sexy picture of my bathing suit, backing it up with a little booty going, backing it up, feeling sexy, feeling liberated, because I've been in 2 10-year relationships, being that good girl, being the one who not my true self. Here I am, 32 years old, single, loving life, putting out a book, about to put out an erotic book, gonna be an artist, continuous, writing a novel that has sexual things that we go through as the human experience. And part of that human experience for me is if I want to put a picture up, or if I just want to wear a certain outfit, you know, I mean, obviously, like, I'm not finna wear a bathing suit on an interview or wear something kinky on an interview, you know, but like, if I want to go to a certain party, or I want to go to something certain and I want to wear a certain outfit, and I'm gonna take a picture of it, I'm finna rock it, and I'm finna be really happy.
Like, you know how I spoke about building your brand?
Of
course.
course.
When you speak about your books, it seems like your books is heading that direction. So, I mean, what you put out there is what you're going to get back. That's the type of audience you're building. That's the type of brand that you have. So, yeah, people are going to judge you off of your books. They're going to judge you off of what you wear. You know what I'm saying? So, if that's the brand that you want to build, you have to understand, just like, you know, like rich people, famous people, celebrities, they have to take the good with the bad.
For sure,
so whatever
for
they
sure.
put out there, you know, they have to deal with the opinions of others. And that's just something that we have to accept. You know, everybody has an opinion. You know, we in America, freedom of speech.
Yes.
And that's fine.
That
And no,
part.
and
You know,
it's not really about the opinion. It's about you coming into my inbox and you talking to me for like a week. And I have one picture up, and you look at me and you say, is that something you should put out? And I tell you, yeah. And then you start judging me after we talking, and if you have a problem with it, you can just kick rocks in my inbox.
See, I get what you're saying, but there's somebody for everybody, and that goes back to where I said there's certain men out there looking for a wife, and their perception, a lot of men, their perception of a wife is not the same type of girl that they would just date randomly. So maybe in his mind, he was picturing you as, you know, oh, this could possibly be somebody that could possibly be my wife one day. So when he's seen that in his mind, it's like, hey, I thought this was possibly going to be something that was going to only be for me one day, but she's putting that out there for everybody. You understand what I'm saying?
It's too bad that that's not what that
So
was.
that means he's just not for you. You need somebody that's going to accept. You
Well,
know, the way that
it
you
wasn't.
decide
It
to
wasn't
dress.
really like that, because I wasn't even talking to him on that level. He just assumed, and I tried to let him know a few times that I wasn't talking to him on that level.
But
again,
a different mindset. He thought something else.
and then I put a sexy picture up, and he goes, and I'm like, dude, I don't even know what you're talking about. You over here
Just
building
block
a brand.
him.
Yeah.
Just block them. Don't even go any further.
Block.
But
you know-
you've been quiet. Like, what you? I want to know what you think. Like, honestly,
Yeah,
Like I said, I mean, her past is going to come back and haunt her. And unfortunately, I have sat in sessions with people who are traumatized behind the fact that they did not have the right understanding of how they were looking at something, how they were living something. And it's okay because that's how you feel about it now. But just take some time to really, really ponder over the what if. The what if is going to give you a better idea of how far you want to go with this, because I understand you're stating it's a brand and what you write on is erotic. So
Not just erotic. I just feel in my mind that if that I'm a evolution of everything. I'm everything. I am socialmatic. I am erotic. I am sexual. I am free. And I'm going to continue to be free, and can't nobody take that away from me.
I understand. I'm not going to argue with that, but I'm just going to tell you, I was there. So
Yeah,
I
feel you.
understand exactly where you're coming from.
Well, we all have different of opinions, but the truth of the matter is that we're all right, that people are going to judge you, and you're going to be judged, and it's all about how you take it, for sure.
Yes,
It's
I
all
agree
how
with
you
that.
take it.
I agree with that.
Tell us what you think in the comments.